that you put that in your brain, the more likely it is to happen. You have to make the decision. You have to put all of your feeling into it. You have to think that it's true. Expect it. There has to be an expectancy.
Yeah.
And that's the work. All the blood, sweat, and tears, that's wasted.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All of that could have been going into the Qigong to keep you in alignment and opening up all of your channels and allowing more flow and more energy to come in. So that would have taken care of that part. So I love this. Now, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, so is this something that you do this first thing in the morning? So I would imagine this is like a routine or a ritual that you do. You wake up first thing in the morning and you do it, or you do it. How does it work for you? And do you look at this list more than one time a day? Is it someplace that you see it several times during the day, or you make a conscious declaration? I will look at it in the morning. I will look at it, right before I go to bed. It's the last thing that I see. It's the last thing on my conscious mind. How do you go about it?
It's a little bit different than a vision.
Okay.
This is just writing your goals down on a piece of paper, putting it into form, right?
Okay.
I speak my vision every day with a partner, but this goal thing is a different thing. It's just writing them down, believing that they're going to happen, and allowing all the thoughts that surround that to let them happen. Yeah, it's not the same as creating a vision and reading that a couple times a day and really working with it. It's more just, I hate to use this analogy, but I'm going to. It's more like puking up everything you would love.
Yeah.
And getting it on paper,
Okay.
And writing it down, and the process of writing it down, something happens in your brain.
Right.
And like I said, then ideas come around. Oh, well, I need to do that, and that for that to happen.
Right.
And if you really want these things, well, then it's not really work. It's just bringing these things, allowing these things to become present in your life, and taking the steps to let that happen.
Right. So how? Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say there really is something very magical, and I'll let you know in maybe 10 more days or so what kind of magic really has happened, because I'm still in it, but so far so much has moved in my life since I started doing this that it was worth a discussion.
Right. Well, and it's amazing and again, like you had said, it's, whether we say like this is a big thing or this is a little thing, big or small, we're the ones that name that. It's not to the universe. It doesn't make any difference. It's neither big nor small. It's our thinking that makes it so. So I would imagine then that you've had many different things that have happened that, and then maybe there's this, in air quotations, a bigger thing that's out there, and that it's coming about. So how is this different when you're writing and setting your goals for the day? So you write them and you're done. You're not going back and you're not visiting them. But let's say it's something about where you're thinking about that bigger goal of buying a house, and you start having those thoughts, through the day. If they just start coming in, that say like, oh my gosh, but that house that you want is, it's $500,000, and that's about $400,000 outside of your budget. You could never have that. What do you do with that? Or is that something where it's just like you just let that thought float in and let it float out, and you don't give it any attention? It's just, it's not going to take your energy? Or how do you, with the goal setting, how do you address that?
Well, it's funny that you would bring up that particular thing, because I live in a house that was exactly in that scenario that you just said.
Oh,
$400,000 outside of my budget, but I actually came to this house every day and sat in the driveway and walked around the neighborhood and met the neighbors, and now I live in this house.
Wow.
So, it's not about making things happen. It's about letting them happen.
Right.
And I will tell you, I do look back a couple of times just out of curiosity of what I wrote. But when you're writing them every day, you have a really good relationship with what's on that paper. So you know what's going on, and you know if you're moving towards them or you're not moving towards them.
Okay.
So
what do you do if you do get those thoughts that are disempowering? What do you do with those?
We all have those thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And I take a deep breath and say, that's not the truth.
Okay.
That is not. I can do whatever I put my mind to. And if I truly want this is what I need to do. Right. Yeah. It's really a matter of training your brain. Notice what you're noticing. And training your brain that when those disempowering thoughts come in, and they always will at any level, they're going to come in. Take that deep breath. Breathing is so important, important. And we talked about this before. Breathing is so important. Right. Take a nice cleansing breath. Push away all those thoughts. And remind yourself that you are a child of God. You are a light being. And you can do anything that you put your mind to. Right. Now go do it. Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's amazing because it's true, because the more we go up the evolution of our own becomingness, the spiral of the evolution of our own becomingness, how we will be met with new challenges. So sometimes we think, once I get that new house, I'm just using that as an example. I mean, it could be anything, the relationship, the better health, the better job, whatever it happens to be. So Andrea, I was saying to you that, so if we are saying that it's a house that we're wanting to bring into our life, and it's one of those things that is on our goal list, and when those thoughts are flowing into us that are negative thoughts, that we're just letting them, right? Just we're breathing in, cleansing breaths. We're letting those drop away, and knowing that every spiral of our own evolution, of our own becomingness, we will have new challenges. So maybe it is this one house that is, $500,000, but the next house that I want, it's going to be, $900,000. And so then we'll have more challenges, which would be that negative thinking, the paradigms that come up. And then we just continue doing the same thing, right? The cleansing breaths, and we allow this limiting belief paradigm just to fall to the wayside, and know that if I thought it up, that thing is for me. Right. And to stay in love and trust, right? Trust the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in, that everything is happening in divine order, and it will happen as soon as you get on the right frequency of that thing. Right. So it's a matter of belief, a decision, belief, expectancy. Yeah. I love that one. Decision, belief, and expectancy. I remember there was a book that Wayne Dyer wrote, and I believe, isn't it called You'll See It When You Believe It, right? Because we always say that, like, I'll believe it when I see it. And it was like, no, it's the complete opposite. When you believe it, when you believe it, you'll see it. Absolutely. And we just weren't brought up that way. We just weren't brought up to think that way. And so it's just a shift in mindset. It's a shift in thinking. And I'm going to tell you, so I'm doing the Qigong with you, and you're now talking about this, writing 10 goals per day. So guess what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to
start it. I think I'm actually going to just start it tonight. I'll do it today, and then I'll then get going with it tomorrow morning and do it daily. So yeah. So thank you for sharing these wonderful nuggets and gifts, and which seem really simple. And again, I just want to come back to that and say, I don't think that it's supposed to be as hard and complicated as we've made it out to be. So
that's right.
Yeah. And so I invite, go ahead.
Real quick. In the beginning of my goal setting, I had one of my goals was to have 15 people in my Qigong challenge.
Okay.
And guess what?
There's 15.
There's 15 people. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So now are you going to up it? Are you upping that number? Or is that a number you want to stay at? Like, I don't want it to get, because sometimes like we want it to be at this number because when it gets to be too much, it's going to be hard to manage.
In August, I've opened up 4 new classes. So by the time this airs September, I'll still have the 4, maybe 5 classes. So I'd like 15 in each of those classes.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So
those classes.
Okay. We might have to do this again in October so you can tell us how it all turned out, how this goal setting, right, set us up. And I just think if the listeners can know that, it doesn't have to be this crazy struggle. We don't have to make ourselves nuts. And Andrea is living proof of that, and I am living proof of that. And we are, well, we're twins, but we are as ordinary as anybody in the world. We don't have anything special. And that's what I love about this work, and just being a regular old next door neighbor kind of girl. And you too, Andrea, but we're working this magic because this life is so magical.
Right. We all have it. It's just a matter of using it.
Yes. And being in a community where you can feel that magic and that support is so important, because when you're just out there trying to do it by yourself, it's very difficult because you're having to fight off a lot of arrows and a lot of stuff. And so being in a community.
A lot of people tell you that you can't. And all I can say is those people are wrong.
Right. Absolutely. Andrea, I have to tell you, I'm so grateful. And again, this time went flying by like there is just no tomorrow. And, I'm thinking if a woman was in labor and if time goes by if 30 minutes goes by this quickly, every woman in labor should be listening to these, because it's just like 30 minutes and it's done. You're kidding. I love you. I love your energy. I love spending time with you. And you're such a bright light, positivity. And you're just, I'm very blessed to have you in my life. And I'm very grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedule to come and be with me. And thank you. Just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
And I just love you so much, Nada. You are truly my twin, my soulmate, and together we will just help tons and tons and tons of people, because that's what we're here to do. So
absolutely. Yes.
I am grateful for you and for Joseph and everyone. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And you will be back. So listeners know that Andrea will be back. Of course, we have to have her back in October. We got to know how the Qigong classes turned out. So for all of Andrea's information and how to sign up for the Qigong, and I highly recommend it. It is so reasonable, $1 a day, 30 days. And she does a beautiful job. You are so in the moment with her while you're doing the Qigong challenge. That information will all be on the show notes, so there will be no confusion in how to contact her. So thank you again, Andrea. And for all of the listeners, thank you. And I know you gained some golden nuggets from here. And please know your life does not need to be a struggle. There should be ease and flow and grace. And that's what we wish for you. Have a beautiful rest of your day and a beautiful week. And we will see you back here next week. Goodbye for now.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Please go to nadahogan.com for show notes and other information you can use right away. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe to our show, and don't forget to rate and review right there on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your shows. And don't forget to tell your friends about it. We'll see you next week.